Thank you very much, and welcome to you all convention members. There's a number of new convention members here for the first time, and welcome to you. But a particular welcome to all of those watching around the world. We are conscious that one of our former members, Elizabeth Clernan, is watching us in Laos and missing us not being here. So particular welcome to everybody watching across the world. We're here today to consider the question as to whether Irish citizens resident outside the state should have the right to vote in presidential elections in Irish embassies or otherwise. That's the precise wording of the resolution of the Oireachtas given us. There's been considerable interest in this topic. We've had 123 submissions, all of which are up on the website. We've conducted an online survey which attracted over 2,500 submissions from 64 countries around the world, from Afghanistan to Zambia. And within the limits of our resources, we've attempted to really reach out to the diaspora. Art and myself, between us, we've spoken at meetings in London, Brussels, New York, and Washington. So what I'd like to do in setting out this morning is to talk a little bit about the structure of the weekend, and particularly today. We're going to start, as we do in all of our topics, with presentations by academic and other experts to present convention members with the most up-to-date and relevant information dealing with the topic we are discussing. At 11 o'clock, we will have a session called Other Voices, which is a global panel discussion, and where we'll hear voices from Sydney, Berlin, Paris, New York, Montreal, London, and Belfast. And these people from these places will be reporting on what people in the countries of their residence, where they are living, said in the online survey. Then we go on to roundtable discussion before lunch, and after lunch reporting back on that discussion. At 2:15, we'll listen to the advocates in favour of amending the Constitution to allow citizens outside the state to vote in presidential elections, and we listen to the arguments against this, the arguments in favour of retaining the status quo. I would note that the great bulk of the 123 submissions which we've received have been from citizens living outside the state, and the bulk of those have been in favour of change. So part of my job as an independent chair is to make sure that both sides of the argument that we have here today get proper ventilation. We'll then move on to a session on the specific issue of Northern Ireland. The Oireachtas resolution under which we're established requires us, and I quote, to have appropriate regard to the Good Friday Agreement and the St. Andrews Agreement. And in this session, this afternoon, we'll discuss the legal and constitutional position brought about by the Good Friday Agreement and the St. Andrews Agreement, and the subsequent changes in Articles 2 and 3, which arose from the Good Friday Agreement. And then we'll be presented with some interesting research from Northern Ireland, which dates from 2009, on possible voting behaviour of Northern Ireland citizens in an Irish presidential election. So this research done way before this topic was on our agenda. And we will also have the benefit of the views from 3 MLA convention members. We'll then move on to looking at how voting systems for citizens outside their state works in practice. And I want to thank the US Embassy for helping us in this regard. And then we'll conclude with the discussion. And we will conclude, of course, in good time to watch the hurling final at 5 o'clock. So I think this is going to be a fascinating day. And I hope everyone is going to enjoy it. I'm very conscious that today is really a global conversation. We're meeting here in the Grand Hotel in Malahide, in the historic region of Fingal, in the county of Dublin. But we know that we are being watched by people around the world. And I would encourage those people around the world to let us know in the course of the day what you think of the discussions here. We've very active tweeters and social media people at the back of the room, and we'd love to hear from you. Just a couple of things in conclusion. I want to thank particularly the Department of Foreign Affairs for their collaboration in helping us set up this meeting. This meeting has been, as you see from the agenda, it's a rich agenda, it's a complex agenda, and there's a lot of logistics in setting up today. And to thank the communications company Pi for it as well. Our secretariat, led by Arthur Leary, has done a tremendous job, I think, in preparing for today. As usual, just a couple of last words. You have a questionnaire before you, which we would like you to fill in, because it yields very valuable information to us about how to run our affairs as best we can. And today of all days, we are going to have to stick to time. So the good discipline that is the standard practice of this convention will be again maintained today, and if you will have to bear with me as I exercise that responsibility. So it's with great pleasure that I now turn to our first expert of the day, Dr. Iseult Honohan of University College Dublin. And Iseult is going to talk to us about the principles which underline some of these issues.